A lot of you tell me in the comments that painting helps you cope with issues life throws at us. I can completely relate because painting took me out of my worst depression. But sometimes we have a bad day or even a bad week like I was having. I decided to let it all out on this dresser. I started with this old 80s manufactured dresser.
There's a new day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day.
I'm definitely removing this hardware.
There's a new.
I call these Batman pulls and I have an entire collection of them that I will never use.
The old way.
I'm using Dixie mud to cover the hardware holes and the flowers that's carved out in the front.
Darling,
I like to use a lot more than I need. It's easy to sand that down when it dries.
through the night, 'cause I promise you this. If you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight.
And now that we're done sanding, we need to clean it with white lightning. I never show this part, but you need to rinse off white lightning with water when you're done cleaning. And now we can paint. I was having a really bad week and I had no idea what I wanted to do with this dresser. I went from thinking doing blending to dry brushing to light colors to soft colors, but I wasn't really feeling none of it. At the end, I was feeling really dark, so I just decided we will start with a dark color.
I will always,
I chose Caviar.
you and me.
This is a black chalk paint and it covers great.
Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this. If you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight.
It's going to take 2 coats for solid coverage. I want my base to be solid.
There's a new day.
Here is the new hardware I'm adding on. You can buy these really cheap on Amazon. I will leave them linked in description. Those gray ones are from another idea and I'm going to paint over them anyway. The second coat went on just as easy.
And it will restore us. There will be new ways. This is not the end.
Here it is dry. The next part is going to take a few colors, but it was my favorite part. We're going to need coffee bean, rusty nail, chocolate, and Florida orange. We are going to start with some chocolate. I'm tapping it on randomly in different spots, heavier towards the corners.
Just stay the same, and everything will be okay. Promise I will always wait for you to go and find your own way.
Now I will grab some Florida orange and add less of it the same way. Then we can grab some rusty nail and add even less. Just a touch of rusty nail. I want more orange than rusty nail, more orange than red.
You should let them go, and everything will be okay. Promise I will always wait for you to go and find your own way.
Now back to some chocolate.
As the sun passes the moon, I will always say it all. My time for
Back to orange.
you. Okay. Promise I will always wait for you to go and find your own way. We don't have no time to lose. As the sun passes the moon.
And now some coffee bean. I felt that coffee bean was a very important color in all of this, to tie all these colors together. Coffee bean was doing that.
Always say it all. My time for you. Baby, don't move now. Baby, don't move. You gotta stand still right now, where I can see you.
This part has no right or wrong. This part is just like a therapy. You just do whatever you want to do. I just feel my way through and add layers and colors as I go. This part I'm just listening to my art. Whatever my art is telling me inside of me to do, I'm just doing it. I just play. A little bit of orange, a little bit of caviar, a little bit of coffee bean. Once I feel like all the colors are where I want them, I go back to my original color. But first, we have to make sure the first part is dry, completely dry. I use the caviar to work everything together and pull back some of the rust we created.
As the sun past the moon.
How much you pull back is up to you and how you feel. Totally up to you. Do whatever you want with it. This is such a great way to get rid of all the stress that we have built up in us. Like, some days can be tough, like really tough, and we need to get all that out. This is where I stopped, but it's still a bit wet. Hours and hours went by with just me and the brush. Here is a closer look in fast forward. It really is a beautiful process and well worth the time, in my opinion. I thought I was done with my rust, but it was looking a bit flat, like, I like it, but it needs something. And then I got a great idea. I can use patina paint to spice things up, like, we need something. The dresser at this point did needed something, and I didn't want for that to be gold. Like, no. Wasn't gonna do it. bronze has a nice shimmer to it without the activator, so that's what I did. You can use patina paint without activator as well.
Searching for something.
I used a small amount of paint and treated it almost like a dry brush.
Our lines cross.
It took this look to another level, like to totally another level.
While wishing for something better.
Just a little bit here and there on the corners is all I needed. And now for a touch of gold, just a touch of gold. Remember, we don't want too much gold.
And I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way? Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't.
Just a little bit of gold to pop the hardware a bit, just to separate hardware from the rest of the look. Just a touch. Or put so much. Do whatever makes you happy. Because this process is supposed to put us back in our happy place. So, whatever is that, you do it. And now I did this to the entire dresser. Like, it took me hours. Hours of therapy. Hours of feeling better. Hours of putting all my frustration, stress, and anxiety out.
That everything's okay. Don't string me along the way you do. Just let me get over you. Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you. So maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts.
I took my time and it was the time I needed for myself anyway.
I don't wanna waste my time, no. Maybe you don't wanna know. You don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough.
I also used the stencil for that place we patched earlier.
If I had known from the start.
It did a trick and you couldn't notice the old carved wood anymore. And by the way, that wood was not carved by anybody, that wood was carved by the probably some machine in the factory. Now it was finally time for protection. I used hemp oil for it. I love the way black chalk paint looks with hemp oil, so that's why. I did use a black shirt to avoid getting a bunch of lint on the dresser. It does take a bit longer for hemp oil to dry, but it's very easy to use and safe. And here it is. love the results. It's a reflection of how I felt while I was painting it. It's a dark and rusty, but in the same time beautiful and has a story to tell. And now we both feel much better. The dresser and myself. She gets a new life and I get my peace. What do you guys think of it? Have you ever painted a piece of furniture to reflect how you feel inside? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. Bye guys. Thank you for listening to my story. I love you. I love you guys. I love you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby. I love you guys, bye.